So yesterday the crows were going nuts outside the house. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? And I look, and there's a crow on the ground by the road on the sidewalk area. And one of the neighbors' mini cats is like getting closer to it. I was like, what's going on here? And the crows are angry about the cat coming to it. Now, it turns out the crow on the ground is injured. It can't fly now. I think maybe that cat got it and then ran away because the crows were being scary and then was coming back to finish it. So I opened the door and looked at the cat, and the cat fucking took off. And the birds are dive-bombing at it. It was amazing to see. So, I saved that crow's life. I probably should have let it get eaten, though, because it can't fly, man. It's just hopping around the fucking yard.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to pick a movie. I'm Jason, and I picked The Sweet Hereafter.
Yeah.
Another Adam McGoyan film.
1997.
Came out after Exotica. His next movie after Exotica, I believe.
Yeah. Just before The Matrix.
Yeah.
And there's some surprising similarities.
Do you have, lots of info about this?
I got some information on this movie.
Excited.
I'm going to rip this movie up.
Whee! Wait, don't tell me how you feel about it.
I'm sorry. I'm not going to rip the movie up. I'm going to rip up somebody who left a comment on IMDb. I'm about to get in their anus.
Okay.
Here we go. The Sweet Hereafter, 1997, 1 hour and 57 minutes. Had a tagline. Sometimes courage comes from the most surprising places. What do you think about that?
Sure, I guess, eventually, yeah.
This movie had a $5 million budget.
Wow, money well spent, man. Good location shooting, for sure.
Well, and I'm going to touch on that comment you just made there, if I can.
Oh my God, please tell me it's not all sound stages.
No, this was inspired by a 1989 school bus crash in Alton, Texas.
I looked this up after the movie, and boy, was I sad to find out it's much worse than the movie.
It's based on a book by author Russell Banks, who himself went on record as saying that he thought this movie was an improvement on his own novel. Russell Banks, the author, as I had mentioned, has a cameo as the doctor when there's a line that says, "The mind is kind." When Sarah Pauli's in the thing, that's him. He's the writer of the book.
The real incident, didn't 50 kids die?
Mm-hmm. The character of Nicole, played by Sarah Pauli, was an aspiring singer. Throughout the film, we can hear her performing the tragically hip song Courage, as well as Jane Siberry's One More Color. The tragically hip's original version of Courage appears in this movie, and it was Sarah Pauli's idea to rework Courage for the closing credits, a version she personally sang.
The music in this movie is unbearable.
Oh, absolutely. No, the soundtrack, the score is good. The soundtrack's awful.
I think the soundtrack in all of his movies are awful. I think the score, too, usually.
I like it.
In this one?
Mm-hmm. It works.
It's almost like a Celtic...
Yeah.
Oh, I hate it.
Mountain people. And they all of his movies open with a tracking shot of a wall.
I love that. I'm just not into the music. I've specifically said in the Exotic episode that he picks good music, but I was just thinking about that Leonard Cohen song, and I completely forgot about all the goddamn weird...
It's very stringy. It's very Celtic.
Ethnic.
It's very ethnic. This was the first Canadian film to win the Grand Prix at the Cannes Film Festival. It's the only movie that year to be Oscar nominated for Best Director, but not Best Picture. It was number 2 on Roger Ebert's list of the best films of 1997. It was number 7 on Siskel's.
Burn in hell, Siskel.
It was included among the 1001 movies you must see before you die, edited by Steven Schneider.
Those lists are stupid.
They are.
You don't need to see any movies before you die.
No, just die.
Just watch whatever movies you want.
It held a rare 100% fresh rating on Rotten Tomatoes until 2020.
Oh.
When I went on there.
Oh, you fucker.
It ranked as the 3rd greatest Canadian film of all time in the Toronto International Film Festival's 2004 and 2015 polls of Canadian critics and filmmakers.
Number 2, Giant Steps. Number 1, Josephine to Josephine.
Yeah. When the movie was first released to Canadian theaters, it was an immediate box office bomb.
Oh, really? I mean, it does not feel good to watch this movie.
Possibly because its distributor, Alliance, spent almost no money on marketing it. Shortly after the movie was withdrawn from Canadian theaters, it started to get noticed by the media in the United States and generated a lot of publicity. Seeing all of this, Alliance then re-released the movie to Canadian theaters, spending a little more money on publicity, but trying to ride the wave of heat coming from America. The movie ended up grossing $1 million in Canada. When the Canadian movie started to generate considerable publicity, many Canadian journalists said, hey, what the heck, Alliance? Why didn't you put any money behind this? And the producer and distribution head, Robert Lanto, said, this isn't a bankable movie.
No.
Well, how could we put money into it?
You don't tell me what to do, eh?
If we put money into it, not going to guarantee that even though the people that see the ads are going to come see it. You fucking idiots. Now, this is where I'm going to get heated.
Okay.
Some idiot left this trivia. While many film critics, film historians, and moviegoers have assumed that the movie concerns Canadian characters in Canada, there is actually considerable evidence to show this is not the case. Some of these clues include that no locations are mentioned by name. There is a reference to a fictional National Weather Office instead of the environment of Canada, and some of the legal practices shown in the movie are not actually legal in Canada.
Are you going to talk about license plates?
Well, at 1 hour and 14 minutes of the movie, you can see the school bus has a fucking beautiful British Columbia license plate on that motherfucker.
Damn it!
Whoever wrote that needs to get their shit straight.
Did you leave him a message?
I can't. I downrated it. But then it asked me to sign in, so I just stopped. I don't give a shit. Carathan Banks is the daughter of Russell Banks, the author of the book the movie's based on. She plays Ian Holmes' daughter.
Oh.
It's her first movie.
When we first see her, I thought it was Sarah Polley for a minute.
I was thinking, man, it kind of looks like Sarah Polley, but it also kind of looks like Brittany Murphy a little bit. Donald Sutherland was originally cast as Mitchell Stevens.
That's Ian Holmes.
Ian Holmes was, he had to back out. Ian Holmes replaced him at the last minute. And I got to say.
You know, it's Ian Holm, right?
No. Ian Holmes is fucking amazing in this movie.
He's really good. Have you seen the pictures of him shortly before he died when he's all shriveled up and sad looking?
I was like, oh yeah, people get old.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, he was old for a while, and then they're like, hey, but what if we had 20 more years? And you're like, oh, not good.
Yeah, he looks like somebody's holding him up.
He already looked old and alien, kind of.
Paul Gross auditioned for the role of Billy Ansell, which was Billy Ansell is Bruce Greenwood's character, but he was passed over because he looks too good. Adam McGoyan said in October 13th, 1997 issue of the Canadian magazine Maclean's, Paul was a very fine actor and I was close to casting him, but he's too pretty, and Bruce Greenwood looked much rougher.
Hey, Bruce Greenwood, I'm sure you tune in now. You're very handsome. I think you looked great in Exotica, and I think they gruffed you up good in here. You ripped out one of your teeth with a...
Yeah, I was going to ask, do you think they gave him false teeth that extended his other teeth to make it look like that one was missing?
He ripped it out. He's a badass motherfucker.
You know who else did that?
Brad Pitt.
Shia LaBeouf. For the Brad Pitt movie, Fury, nominated.
For a Razzie?
Premiere Magazine voted this movie as one of the 25 most dangerous movies.
What?
In the description for the list, the magazine stated, these are movies about which you could say, that's not entertainment. They're not rides, nor diversions. They are galvanizing experiences that play squarely in your face all the stuff Hollywood usually presumes you go to movies to get away from. Films that rearrange your head, that challenge your bedrock ideas about life and love and the big sleep. Consciousness expanders. In other words, but rarely in a pleasant way. Thank God for them.
I think that's a hunk of bullshit, but I think this movie is quite powerful.
It is. There's an element of it that I'm not a big fan of, but overall, I think this movie's pretty solid. In honor of me thinking that, I'm going to need you to hit me with that synopsis.
Tonight we fight. The Sweet Hereafter. Mitchell Stevens, Ian Holm, is a lawyer hell-bent on bringing corruption to justice and money to grieving people. He descends upon a small Canadian town to do just that after an accident rocks the community, which includes school bus driver Dolores Driscoll, Gabriella Rose, local mechanic Billy Ansell, Bruce Greenwood, local motel maid Risa Walker, Alberta Watson, and her husband Wendell Walker, Maury Chaikin. Local Tommy Wiseau, Sam Burnell, Tom McCamus, and his daughter Nicole Burnell, Sarah Polley, just to name a few. Things spiral out of control before everything comes to an head, but like Mama Schubert always said, things may be what they seem in the bitter there before, but they are never what they seem in the sweet hereafter. Mama Schubert never said anything fucking clean and clear like that.
Yeah, boy.
She said things like, I'm so mad I could just spit.
Mm-hmm. Why couldn't you have been the one that died?
Did I tell you my mom spit on me twice?
No.
Okay, go ahead. Let's continue. My mom spit on me twice.
I was going to make a very inappropriate comment.
It was my cum back in my face.
To help slide in.
When I tell
Don't
people,
worry about it.
When I tell people my mom spit on me twice, they think I'm joking, and then when I clarify, they're horrified.
In your face?
Yeah.
Did she say the N-word?
Yeah, she called me that. Yeah. And she says, now you got a wet face just like those border hoppers. And I said, Mom, it's their back, and it's because they work hard, but all right.
Yeah. Very good. So this movie starts, and I don't actually remember how it starts, but
I think does it start with Sarah Polley at the fair? I think it starts at the fair.
Incorrect. It starts with Ian Holm in the car wash.
That's right. That's right. She's singing. It's terrible.
All we have here is sky.
There's like a middle-aged man
who's
that wants
like
to fuck her real bad.
Yeah, I'm like,
and is like maybe flirting with her. Like this is like maybe he's the electrician of the area, and he's got a secret relationship with this young girl.
No, because he goes, you really are awesome, and she says to him,
thanks, Dad. I was like, oh, I guess that was really wrong. That's just a father's adoration I saw.
It's me.
Yeah, that's what I
I'm
thought too.
the fucked up one.
That was a real creep.
I slapped myself.
That guy, right off the bat, from that scene, you'd have to be like, that guy's an amazing actor.
Yeah.
He conveyed some pretty amazing things in that scene.
What I thought it was maybe he's just a little touched in the head, as Mama Watkins would say. And he loves her, but he's just so stupid that it comes off weird. So then it cuts to Ian Holm getting a car wash.
Do we already go there?
Yeah, he's in a car wash. And his phone rings, and it's his daughter. Now, there was a point in this movie where I thought his daughter was in the car that ran into the bus.
Oh, been terrible.
Because they said something about a guy who was beating his girlfriend. He's known for beating his girlfriend. So I'm thinking...
Is that the guy they say everybody hates him?
Yeah.
Do we ever meet that guy?
Not that I know of.
Can I tell you, I made it through almost this whole movie being like, isn't Elias Koteas in this?
I
keep making people up that are in this.
I thought it was him when we see the dad at the very beginning from behind watching the musical performance. I said, God damn!
It's that beautiful Exotica hair again.
Yep. Nope. Some Tommy Wiseau looking motherfucker.
He's good.
So he gets a call. Hey, Dad, I need. How you doing? And he goes, what do you need? Why the fuck do I need something? You shitter? God damn it!
The problem is I don't know who I'm talking to right now.
Oh, because you think I'm stoned, Daddy? Is that what you're thinking? You think I've got a needle stuck in my arm? Are you thinking that I score, Daddy, and that I'm calling you for money? That I'm begging? God, I don't fucking believe this.
He goes, I just need to know, are you fucked up? I need to know who I'm talking to so I know how to talk to you. And she's just like, fuck you! It turns out that Ian Holm, his car is stuck in the car wash. So he gets out and...
He tries to call for help, and they're like, sorry, I can't hear you.
And this is where I'm lost, because is the car wash at the auto garage?
I think so. Or right around there.
Because...
I guess I don't know why you'd have a car wash at an auto garage.
I don't either. Because it goes from him leaving the car wash area to finding Bruce Greenwood's guitar sitting there, but it's still amped up. And he's walking around, and then he goes to the window, and out the window he sees... a busted up school bus. And then that transitions into a not busted up school bus pulling up. And we see, the people.
Are we back at the fair now?
Yeah, the school bus teacher, the school bus lady.
The school bus driver.
Is dropping off a bunch of kids to go to the rabbit barn.
And Sarah Polley's talking about how she likes to watch her from far away. She's talking to her dad.
And they're eating ice cream and hey. And
now... Are you aware that this is the lady that used Maury Chaikin's hand to masturbate herself on the train in The Adjuster?
No, because I looked her up. I saw that she was in there. I didn't remember the character's name. But man, she is such a chameleon in this movie.
I mean, I knew it was still her, but I was shocked because
the perm, the glasses.
I would have loved to make love to her in The Adjuster. And in this movie, I'd be like, I'm not going near that lady. I don't want to fuck some middle-aged bus driver with crazy hair and a neck brace.
because there'd be a brief moment where your eyes meet over the rims of your glasses,
And she's going to be like, oh, yeah.
and then you see she's got spinach in her teeth, and you're just like, oh. I'm going to go Dolores.
She's a good actress, so I'm impressed.
She's fucking awesome.
She's really good in this. And she was really good in the other one.
This movie is great.
When I was watching this, I said to myself, I think I can see how if this went wrong, people could turn on Egoyan.
Yes.
We haven't seen the later movies yet where people lose interest in him. I think those people are insane, but that's because I'm in the early portion. It would only take a couple of grains of sand to tip the scale into bad. But everything looks amazing. The scripts are tight. The actors are fantastic. But everything is a little bit weird where it could just devolve into garbage melodrama.
Honestly, in a way, this feels very much like early Paul Thomas Anderson.
But so much sadder. That's not what he did.
Turns it up on the sadness, right? Paul's got some sad shit, but you're always sort of removed from it. You're wallowing in it in this. And I think this is so far the easiest to follow, maybe simplest of the three Adam Egoyan movies we've watched.
Yeah, the timelines are mildly confusing at first. You're like,
mildly.
Oh, wait a minute, what's happening here?
Yeah, mildly, because it's like I said, it's difficult to square Ian Holmes in all of this when it turns out that he has absolutely no.
He's not John Holmes. He's Ian Holm.
Connection to this outside of the fact that he's just there to do what he's doing.
He might have a giant cock. Is that why?
Sherlock Holmes. So he first goes to the motel folk.
Yeah.
Morichikin.
I can't believe this is all the
Who just
Morichikin
comes
we get.
lumbering out like a menacing threat.
Are you a reporter?
No, sir.
You hear about the accident?
Yes. I'm a lawyer. I realize this is an awful time, but it's important that we talk.
He's such a piece of shit in this movie.
Well,
it's amazing.
Ian?
Yeah.
Oh.
You don't get enough Morichikin, I'll say right away. I was really disappointed that this was it.
He grabs a bag of Cheetos.
I fucking love this guy. You don't think Ian Holm is a bad dude in this movie?
I don't understand him, but I don't think so. I think he's misguided. He has a righteous fury, but it kind of seems like he's also an ambulance chaser to some extent.
I don't think he really has a righteous fury. That's just his sale on how to sell this.
Somehow stems from.
No, I think he's a bad dude who exploits people. Luckily, he gives people money, but he games the system. It seems so sleazy and gross, and he's only doing. I get 1/3. I get 1/3, Julian.
When he's talking to Sarah Polley, man, there's a brief thing that it's like, whoa. He must be really good at his job because either he did something inadvertent that worked in his favor, or he did something knowingly that's just like incredible. So. Yeah, the movie is jumping back and forth. We see the children before the accident.
It's 3 timelines.
So yeah, you're right. Which is the past before the accident.
Oh, but 4 timelines. The actual accident. The Ian Holm comes to town and talks to people, and then the future when he's on the airplane.
Is that the future?
I think the airplane's like 2 years later.
Interesting. For some reason, I thought that was what was bringing him here, and then he's on the case too.
No, because he sees the bus driver at the end with a totally different job in a different area.
That's very true.
And I think it says it's been 2 years.
Really?
I don't know.
Okay, well.
I'm a drunk.
Mm-hmm. So it's jumping all around. So, we're spending time with everybody at various different points in their lives. Everybody's sad as shit, obviously, after the accident, but you don't quite understand what the accident is.
No, and it is interesting to see the aftermath where everybody is hollow.
And the accident itself is interesting to witness.
It is so upsetting. I fucking couldn't even handle it.
Because at first you think one thing is happening, and then you're like, oh, they're fine. Oh, no, they're absolutely not fine. But Morichikin, he's talking, him and his wife are like, trying to basically paint a picture for Ian Holm. Because are they involved in the lawsuit? Yeah. They're the ones who first bring it.
I mean, I guess, but they also hate everybody in town and talk mad shit about
they're
him.
Spilling tea on everybody.
Kyle Lampton's a drunk. Nobody likes him. He's a nasty piece of work.
Fucking real
There's
small
some
town.
hipsters over there. They have a Native American son they adopted named Bear, who is a lively young lad. They go, yeah, there's that musician chick. She's actually alive. I don't know if they actually mentioned that.
No, you don't know she's alive till much later.
There's the lady at the motel I'm the lady at the motel.
Yep.
I have a disabled child. And
Well, he's just,
I don't know, whatever.
he's like autistic.
So he gets a
little bit.
phone call from his daughter, and he excuses himself. And he's listening to her talk, but he can hear that Maury Chaikin and the other lady, his wife, are fighting.
Mm-hmm.
So he's inching ever so closer to try to eavesdrop on the fight while he's also trying to manage his daughter on the phone call. It's pretty fucking awesome.
This daughter shit's so depressing.
I would just block her.
I
know.
Yeah, it's too sad.
I know.
It's kind of what you have to do. I thought
He's
about
so
that.
Dead.
I wanted him to say to her, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the woods and I'm going to kill myself.
Yeah.
And I hope that you make it through your life.
Because it almost echoes back to Exotica, where at the very end, he's so defeated, but he just goes, I'm coming for you. I'm going to protect you. Everything is going to be great. I love you. He says that to her on the phone.
What?
Right when she goes, I got AIDS.
Oh, I thought you were saying that him in an Exotica.
No, I'm saying, but in Exotica, he keeps going, I won't let him hurt you. And she goes, yeah, you're going to protect me?
Fuck me, daddy. I think the great sadness, right, is that he doesn't go to her and he doesn't help her. I'm pretty sure she's dead at the end when he's on the airplane.
Yeah, it feels like she's been dead for a little bit.
Well, he might be going for the funeral or something.
Yeah.
I don't think he ever went to her because he's in the middle of this case.
Well, and I think in general, he says, like, you can only, how many hospitals, how many blah, blah, blahs. You think you just get to the point where you're just like, okay, Robert Downey Jr. and less than zero.
Like, the best thing you could do, the only thing that would maybe work out in your favor is, like, can we just get you sober for your last couple years?
I would have just kidnapped her and chained her to a radiator.
Right? Like, we're doing Don't Breathe.
In some old black guy's house.
Oh,
south.
She's not Don't Breathe. You're going to Black Snake moan her. Mm-hmm. But she's not horny. She's got a drug problem.
Well, but he's not having sex with her, so it doesn't matter if she's horny or has a drug problem. He's just rehabilitating her. Radiator style.
We should watch Black Snake
I'm thinking we should.
Should that be a boner?
I was kind of looking to see if it was on the list, and it wasn't.
It never occurred to me. I liked it when I saw it, but it mystifies me now trying to think back to it. Like,
is it
what
sexy?
is this?
Do they have sex?
The way she, I don't think so. The way she writhes, though, is real boner inducing.
I bet.
Okay, so we're back. Where are we at? We're at the hotel. You're
Would that
amazed.
look bad if we pick Black Snake Moan for our boner pick?
No, I don't think
Isn't
we
it
can.
a feel-good movie?
We can't. No, it's not. I don't think so. We can't take into account what anybody thinks. Nobody ever likes anything we make.
Yeah.
And I don't think catering to an imaginary concept of what people want is the way to go.
Word.
We're garbage people, and your friend from the movie theater listens.
So then, Ian Holm next goes to Bernadette, the bus driver. Her husband had a stroke.
Oh, yeah.
He's in a wheelchair.
And are you aware that her husband is the guy,
border patrol agent
and the boss in The Adjuster?
Mm-hmm. And so she's got a picture of all of the children on her wall.
That's so sad. He's good as the guy with the stroke. He's good.
He doesn't say what she says, right? She's kind of. Does it seem like he's pissed, or like he's like, yeah, fight?
I don't know.
He looks at him like.
I think the intensity is trying to get the words out.
Yeah,
and he's
right.
His brain's been cut off from circulation.
Couldn't quite.
I don't think it's what she said, but it might be the general idea of what she said.
Yeah. Okay. At first I was like, he's like, yeah, fucking make sure my wife is innocent.
Do you think she still fucks him after she changes him?
Yeah.
That's nice.
That's the only way they can keep that marriage going. And so she's basically like, I don't recall her admitting that she lost control, but that's what the story is.
She hit a patch of ice.
A patch of ice, possibly black ice.
Uh-huh.
And she lost control. But Ian Holm goes to talk to...
You really made sure I heard that you didn't put an S on it.
Goes to talk to the hippies.
Yep, and you see this is Satan from Highway 61.
Yep.
He's so good.
Mr. Skin.
He doesn't have much to say in this one.
And the wife is the wife.
Yep. Unibrows really grown together.
Yeah, it's coming in real nice.
I thought that was her in the opening thing.
With the baby.
When they pan across.
Because of the big tit.
Yeah.
Right? You saw the big titty go, that's her.
I saw that big old titty.
It's a big old titty. That's her.
It's nice, but I was like, well, that's not Mr. Skin.
It may have still been her. Just playing two roles.
Yeah.
Because he's like, I get that titty in this movie.
It's full of milk.
It's probably his child.
And I'm hungry.
Because they were pregnant. And they're just like, man, we don't want to get involved, man. And he goes, no, but you have to.
God, they're just like both
for justice.
Just grieving in that. What do you call that type of house?
It's just an
weird
A-frame
triangle
house.
They're grieving in there. Like when he comes in and the dad is up top,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's like touching his son's stuff and sad.
Here's a weird thing. He goes, "Can I offer you some tea?" Remember that? Mm-hmm. And the kettle just starts whistling.
I know. I was like, wait, what?
So the tea would have just went off.
It was already on, yeah.
Yeah, and he pours him some tea. And he goes, "Let me direct your anger."
What's that guy's name? Earl something?
There's some guy. Earl Pastko. The wife's name is Arsini Kenjian.
Yeah,
Hartley Otto and Wanda Otto. He was inspired. The character was inspired by Hal Hartley.
Really?
No.
You fucker.
And yeah, he's just like, there's some guy somewhere who didn't put a screw in there. I'm gonna fucking jam him up.
I don't care if it's the town or the bus company. We're going to get him.
I don't give a shit about a banana in my tailpipe.
But nobody's at fault. Billy is right later on.
Yeah,
That's
he goes,
why
I service the bus, you fucking idiot.
he's a scumbag, dude.
You think the guy that drives behind the bus every fucking day to wave at his dumb kids is going to not put in a screw?
He loves those kids so much.
I'm sorry. Did my statement insinuate that he didn't?
You call them dumb.
They are dumb, but he still loves them.
They're good kids.
That one boy. Can I sit next to you on the bus? I know what you're doing, you little horn dog. Can't you see she's being violated? All she needs now is some little...
Spoilers.
We've spoiled the shit out of this movie already.
Where do we go after this?
So now he's got the hotel folk. He's got the hipster folk. He convinces the guitar folk to join in the lawsuit as well.
Guitar folk?
Yeah. Sarah Polly's dad is a guitar guy. He plays the guitar a little bit.
Yeah.
Remember when there's a guitar laying next to him in the hay?
Yeah, when do we go to that part?
Probably before this. So back in the times, it's really weird. They drive up in their station wagon. She's got a blanket around her.
No.
Oh.
Billy, Bruce Greenwood, has Sarah Pauly babysit for him, and she spends time with his two idiot kids,
Which-
as we call them.
Typecast.
And then he goes over to the hotel to fuck Maury Chikkin's wife in
Yeah.
one of the rooms, which is like, yeah, that's pretty good.
We see her
And-
breasts.
And then she tells the sad story. This is when like the misery starts really piling up for me. And she's like,
Tomorrow I'm going to put Sean on the bus and he won't want to go. He never does. He'll cry. He won't want to let go of me.
I'm gonna put him on the bus.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude.
Bruce
That's so
just
sad.
goes, he loves you. She goes, no, it's something else. And he goes, he's just a special boy.
Yeah, he's like mildly autistic or just a weird kid. There's buckets of that in young kids. So those two were fucking.
Yeah.
And then Bruce Greenwood leaves, and Sarah Pauly gets a pile of clothes of his late wife's, and she's already
That's
been
true.
trying on some of the clothes before he comes home. She's got like that long T-shirt on or something.
I guess. I wasn't sure. I thought she was like getting ready to go to a party or something.
Sort of seemed like it. Also, I was like, I'm weirdly uncomfortable with this side shot of her pulling the shirt down over her bra, where I'm
Yeah.
like, Sarah Pauly's a baby. Don't do
Yeah,
this
what
to
is
me.
she in here, like 15?
No, she's probably an adult by now.
Oh, you think so?
I don't know. So she like leaves there, and her dad picks her up in the station wagon, and this is when they drive out to the abandoned farm
Ah, yes.
after the babysitting.
A farm.
So the night before the accident.
Yeah, and it's really weird. So they get out of the thing, the car.
Are you thinking like maybe it's band practice or something?
No.
But there's like a weird look between the two of them.
I was thinking he's bringing her to present to somebody else,
Oh, really?
is what I was thinking. Yeah.
Selling that puss?
Something weird.
For
And then we next see him lying on his back with his shoes off on a bale of hay, and there's candles around him,
very romantic.
and his guitar is sort of there. Mm-hmm. And she is curled up next to him, but she has her head like on his stomach or something, maybe.
They haven't had sex yet.
No, and then she kind of gets up and looks at him and slowly comes up to him, and they start kissing as the camera's like panning past them. I'm just like, what?
Yeah, our initial thoughts are 100% correct. There is that weird look that she gives him when they pull up
Yeah,
and he's
before they go
going
into
in.
the barn. He stops. She stops. He stops to look at her.
Yeah.
She's kind of just, looking at him. And
What
he
is
looks
that?
at her like,
Hey, come on.
it's all right. Eh?
Yeah, that look on her face where it's like she's Like, this is what we do. This is wrong. This is what we do.
I don't understand, because then later we see that he actually has a wife,
Yeah.
her mother.
I mean, that's not really the argument for raping your daughter.
No,
right?
but I thought there was some sort of a weird thing where the wife was dead.
And she's taking the place.
Yeah, because I think it's confusion and coercion, but it seems sort of like...
I mean, this has to have been happening for quite a while for her to be this old and still doing it.
I don't know.
You don't spring this on your 16-year-old daughter and be like, we start fucking?
It's so weird because it feels like the first time.
Oh, you think so?
In an odd way, yeah.
Oh, I thought that was... Oh, my God.
Like it's leading up to this, and now...
This is so sad and horrible.
But it's such a small part of the movie until the very end again.
And even then...
it's just like it just is there. But so...
Sarah Pauli's really, really fucking good in this.
She is.
After watching Joe So Mean to Josephine and being like, fuck this, I fucking hate this character, Sarah Pauli's driving me insane.
Yeah.
And then I watch this and I'm like, yeah, no, this kid's got it.
This
Jesus
kid has
Christ,
something
she's
else,
so fucking
man.
good.
This is like Exotica right off of that. And she's just hit me left and right. Just boxing my body.
Those fucking eyes, man.
Peeing in my blood. Yeah.
They tell me so much.
So that happens. And then we don't see that at really anything from that again for quite some time. Now, we get to the point where it's the accident.
Well, we see them put the kids on buses.
They're on the bus.
And the bus driver's talking about how she felt like she was picking berries and putting them all in their baskets, taking all of the town's children and putting them on her bus.
The motel mom, she's in her frock and house slippers.
Yeah.
They do a thing there. And Bruce Greenwood, he always catches up to the bus for some reason and follows it.
He's going to town, right? Like, I mean, he's going to work. So
yeah, but I mean...
honking at them and waving. It's nice.
They get on the bus, 5 minutes before him? And then he jumps into his car and catches up to them? Just leave at the same time.
Yeah, he probably just drive him to school.
They're like, hey. And he's like, hey, kids. And then all of a sudden he goes, oh, my fucking God. And the bus just goes right off the fucking... goes through the guardrail and just whoop.
And you're like, oh my God, it went off a cliff.
It went off a cliff.
And then he
gets out of
his car and runs to the edge of the cliff and sees it skidding across the ice of the lake.
Yeah, it comes out of like a clear wooded area into the clearing. And it looks like a field.
Do you think if she hit the gas when she hit that ice, she maybe could have gotten to land again?
I don't know, because we don't ever see the actual moment when the accident, when the ice is, if there's ice, what happens?
What? You
see him, hi, what? And then it cuts to the bus just immediately going right off the road. It's already in the process of going off the road.
Right. So what? You don't see it hit the patch of ice? That's what you're wondering about?
You don't see her react. You don't see, it just seems like she just drives off the fucking road.
You don't need that.
It just seems like she drives off the fucking road.
Yeah, you don't need it. I don't know.
But there's no ice. She just drives off the road.
You don't see the ice.
She's like, these aren't my children and I'll never have them. Ah! And then the bus falls through what turns out to be ice. And Bruce Greenwood's just running. Gets right up to it and doesn't jump in the water and save them.
He runs up to the edge of the cliff and then he just freezes.
Yeah.
He watches.
And then it cuts to him looking over at their dead bodies.
Yeah, okay. So, I mean, I feel like I would want to go get on the ice.
I would just say, you know what? Fuck it. I can't live without him, so I'm going to try to save him.
I'm going to die today. Maybe I can at least get a couple of kids out of here.
Yep. I thought he was just going to whoosh.
Yeah.
And just whoosh
but
right
he just
in there.
watches. I mean, I guess it could go either way. Like, you're going to die. You know you're going to die if you go.
I mean, there's nothing he can really do. You can't drive up with your truck and throw your winch on there and pull him out because it's a frozen lake. Anything else that's going to be on there is probably just going to fall through the compromised ice. But yeah, I don't know, and they're dead. Everybody's dead except it turns out Sarah Polly, but we don't know that yet.
Why couldn't they get out and get on the ice?
I don't know.
The biggest problem with, I think, falling through the ice is like your body moves further down and you can't get through the ice.
Here's the thing.
They're wearing
it's
those
winter.
clothes. Yeah.
So all of the windows are shut. There will be water coming in through the cracks of the front door.
All those windows are broken. The bus has like all of the broken windows.
Yeah, I think that just happens when they try to get it out. Clamp a crane on it. Who knows? How do they get it out of there? They let the river thaw?
What is the true story in Texas? Because it's not
I
cold
didn't actually look into
there.
it.
Must have gotten swept away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just got sad reading the tidbit.
And this sort of thing happens every day. So I'm immune to it.
Where have all the children gone?
I will say for the first half hour of this movie, I was kind of like, I don't know. But
You weren't like sucked in pretty much immediately when Ian Holm was having trouble with his daughter?
No.
And then Maury Chaykin comes.
no, I mean, that was a nice moment. For some reason, I knew that was going to be the only moment.
God, this broke my fucking heart as soon as like the bus went off. And that was bad, but then it was so much worse.
Yeah,
And
so
Bruce
there-
Greenwood was nodding at
Yeah.
identifying the children. You
Right
don't
there
see
in
the
the field.
bodies. You just see him looking down insane. And then you see the blanket.
Yeah.
Fuck, that's
Yeah.
powerful.
It's incredible. So now, the town's rocked. Now Ian is there. Greenwood finds out that he's there, and he goes to confront Sarah Pauli's dad. Man, what the fuck are you guys doing with this shit?
There's nothing wrong with that bus.
We gotta get some money, eh? And her paralyzation hospital bills are racking up.
I'll fucking pay for it.
Yeah, Bruce goes, they gave us money when our kids died. I'll give you my kids' money. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I'm fucking ready to die.
The fuck, man? And he's just like, I can't, I'm sorry, eh? So Sarah Pauli, we see that she's paralyzed now. And the dad brought her home, and he had made a ramp, and he painted it green.
So fucked up because he seems like a loving dad, but you know what a monster he is.
She doesn't remember anything
Yeah.
before the accident.
Accidents are kind. What does that guy say?
The mind is kind,
The mind is kind.
which is so dumb.
Yeah, I mean, it does block out trauma.
The mind's cruel. But so she doesn't remember anything up to a little bit before the accident, which apparently is when they had their liaison, because she doesn't remember it. And the dad's just walking on eggshells like you wouldn't believe. You like the ramp, eh? You like the color? The color's dumb. Why would I do it that color, man? I repainted. And he does. Paints it red. And he goes, hey, you like your room? I did it all for you, eh? She goes, yeah, it's, I don't know, fine. And there's another girl there, but it's not her sister.
I'm not quite sure who that girl is.
She's like, I'm going to come visit you. Yeah, you better. And you're going to stay with me.
I'm not sure that mom and the mom and the dad are still together.
It felt like that in this moment. But then when Bruce Greenwood comes to confront them, they're both there.
Yeah.
In like PJs. So maybe this brought them back together.
So you said, check it out, dude. His dad gets to fuck 2 girls?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
And one came from the other.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you get like a newer model. But it looks a little bit
So
like
it's like
you.
you're doing her every time you do her.
And you're fucking yourself too because they look like you.
Yeah.
That's not cool.
It's not.
We're so sorry.
Yeah, this is yours, so you can do with it as you
I'm going to
please.
leave it in there.
You better. And he goes, oh, you like it? And she goes, yeah, how about a lock on the door?
Because you raped me, Dad.
And he goes, oh, yeah. Eh? And she goes, I'm in a wheelchair, you dip shit.
No, you said that wrong. I'm putting the lock in. It's too high, Dad.
Hey, dude,
I'm in a wheelchair.
get your ass out of your anus.
I'm half the height I used to be, but not half
And
the
I
woman.
feel as the dawn, it fades to gray. So, yeah, Bruce Greenwood's like, don't do it. And they're like, we're going to do it, though. And then Ian Holm approaches Bruce because he's illegally filming on the bus.
Yeah.
And he's hiding behind a sign because he's microscopic. And then he approaches Bruce, and this is the point in the film where we see that the license plate is British Columbia.
And he's like, hey, Bruce, do you also get in this bus and jack off because there's so much trauma in here and it just makes you hard?
Tell me, would you be likely to sue me if I was to beat you right now? I mean, beat you so bad you pissed blood and couldn't walk for a month. Because that's what I'm about to do.
No, Mr. Ansel. I wouldn't sue you.
You leave us alone, Stevens.
And then his phone starts ringing. And he goes, you'll have to excuse me. This is my daughter.
She's a junkie.
Or it may be the police that tell me they found her dead. She's a drug addict.
Why are you telling me this?
Why am I telling you this, Mr. Ansel? Because we've all lost our children. They're dead to us.
Bruce sees right through his fucking manipulation right there.
No, I think he gets it. And then he gets into his car and gets out of there.
I want Bruce to see through his bullshit, but you don't see it as
I
bullshit.
don't. I would. Here. So what do you want me to sign? I'll sign it.
He's weaponizing it.
My rage because of the children I've lost.
Yeah.
Every time I come in a wastebasket.
I tell you, you were talking about all your divorces, and my sister was like, how many times has Jill's
What
been married?
divorces? You mentioned that, but I don't. Do I say I've been divorced
Yeah, several times.
on the show?
In the Eat, Pray, Love episode, you talk about your several divorces.
Okay.
I said he's joking, and then she didn't say anything else about the episode. I'm sure she didn't like it.
Yeah.
It's not as lewd as lots of them, but we do talk about becoming one man to love Julia Roberts.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
One man, one woman, no cry.
Okay, so Ian Holmes and Bruce Greenwood have their chat.
Yeah, so Greenwood then goes to the motel and the woman comes by again. And she goes, I thought you'd be here, eh? This has already happened, but this is a really incredible scene because Bruce Greenwood's like, don't do the lawsuit. And she's like, I got to do it. And he gets up and he goes, the best times that I had here.
The thing that I missed the most.
Yeah, the thing I missed the most. Of course, making love to you was great, but the thing I missed the most was when I was just sitting here smoking on a cig and you couldn't get away from Maurice Akin that night.
I'd just be here for hours smoking.
Yeah. Thinking about the life I had before.
Yeah.
Ow!
Burn.
And he leaves and she breaks down.
This town's a fucking graveyard now. It's terrible.
Yeah, and then they bring home Sarah Polley, and this is when Ian Holm meets her. And she's just like, what do you want me to fucking lie or whatever?
No.
And the dad is just about to say something, and Ian Holm puts his finger up like that. And she catches that, and she goes, oh,
you got a big dick.
I like that. My dad is a bitch.
John Holmes.
He goes, God damn it. I want to fight for you. Mm-hmm. I pity you. In a wheelchair.
Yeah.
You disgust me.
Roller pig.
But do this for me.
Is that good? Roller pig?
Yeah.
Leave that in?
Please. Say it again.
Roller pig.
So they decide to do the deposition. So now they're in the lodge doing the depositions and everybody's talking. And then they bring in Sarah Polley and she goes, Oi, I remember now. You raped me.
Just said.
And he goes, what?
That doesn't happen.
No, so she's giving her testimony, and
that lady's got her Top Gun mask on.
And now there's a guy there who's talking, other than Ian Holm. And he goes, anything unusual about that day? And she goes, oh, yeah, a dog ran across the road. And he goes, oh, that's weird, I guess. Why do you remember that? And she goes, oh, because I noticed that the bus driver was speeding.
She's going 70, eh?
I could look at the speedometer closely, and I identified the numbers.
She looked behind me, and she said, we got to go back in time.
Mm-hmm. She goes, look, Ma, no hands. And then she got up and started dancing up and down the aisle.
There was a hobo on the bus, too, and she took his hand, and she put it in her spot.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed inappropriate, but I wasn't going to say anything because she's the boss.
Mm-hmm. And he goes, really? She's like, yeah. So that's that. And the dad's just in the corner because she goes, I remember everything now.
Dad.
I remember when people would betray you and rape you.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy's like, are we still talking about the bus? She's like, yes.
Because when you come on somebody, your body makes a promise.
I swallowed your cum. That means something.
And the dad's just like, ugh. And she even goes to him before that. She goes, hey, are you still going to build me a stage, Daddy? And he goes, what? She goes, yeah, I remember when you wanted me to be your rock star, Daddy? And he's just like...
She's a little fucking wrecking ball. I was like, is he just going to kill her?
She's going to probably get into murder ball and leave the league and steals.
She's probably going to have a okay life, but she's never going to talk to her family again.
Oh, yeah. Especially your bitch mom. And so the deposition's tanked. And Ian Holmes, he even goes to... Tommy Wiseau, he goes, your daughter has serious problems. I don't know what it would take for her to tank and lie and destroy this case like she just did, but you better sort your business out, mister.
What about the money? Can there be... No, there will never be money.
Yeah, her
idiot. Testimony means no money ever.
No money, no cry, motherfucker.
We were doing Bob Marley earlier. Didn't you get that?
And so throughout the course of the movie, Ian Holm is on a plane, and he runs into a woman who recognizes him because she knew his daughter.
They're in like high school.
And they're talking, and it's casual or whatever. And then slowly...
She's like, how's Kimmy doing? What's the girl's name?
Yes, Kimmy.
How's
Gibbler.
Kimmy doing? And he shuts down and goes to the bathroom. Stops talking to her. He was happy to talk to her. Shuts down, leaves.
Well,
and then the next scene, he comes back and is talking to her more. But
no, before that, he gets his food. And they're serving the airline meal on plates.
It's like a Salisbury steak.
I don't know, but he's cutting it up, and she's asking him those questions that you just mentioned.
He's like, this meat, there's something wrong. Is this meat?
He calls over the steward person and goes, what is the deal with this? And she goes, oh, I'm sorry. And he goes, yeah, I don't want it. She goes, well, would you like another dish? We have fish. And he goes, no, you got one of them cold platters?
But it's got shrimp.
Take the shrimp off and anything that's touched the shrimp.
And she's like, that's not going to be much food. And also, I'm a flight attendant, bitch.
Yeah, and he goes, well, let's just make do with what we can. We'll see what we get.
Here's some crackers for you, you wrinkly old bitch.
And the girl is just like, oh, this is weird. And then he starts drinking whiskey. Then he goes to the bathroom because his headphones don't work. That's how they first meet. Mm-hmm. And then he comes back from the bathroom, and then he starts telling his life story. And then he tells the crux of the movie.
Oh my
story with the girl.
This fucking story is something.
This is why we see the baby in the bed with the titty. It's him.
Yeah, he's got the big tits.
He's the man. There's Black Widow baby spiders in the mattress.
He wakes up and the daughter's face is swollen and she's having a hard time breathing.
Yeah, and he calls somebody. Finally gets a hold of a doctor, and he surmises that there must be baby Black Widow spiders in the mattress, because if they had been full-sized adults, she'd be dead by now.
But it's 40 minutes away to get to this, because they're staying at this beautiful, wonderful cabin they love.
So he says, this is your mission, should you choose to accept. You need to get her here as fast as possible while keeping her absolutely calm, because if she panics, her throat's going to close even faster.
Her blood's going to pump faster. The poison's going to move quicker.
However, in the event that she does lose the ability to breathe.
And remember, we don't have cell phones, so I'm going to give you all this information right now before you leave.
You need to get your pocket knife and pull a George Clooney on her ass.
What is that from? Oh, from ER?
That was the show that popularized the tracheotomy.
Yeah.
That everybody's done henceforth.
Is ER the reason I think I can do a tracheotomy?
Mm-hmm. It's one of those things where they do it in a movie, and it's almost like the movie looks at you like, you ever see that before?
You can do it. Just get it perfect and stick a straw in there.
Yeah, so he goes, listen, you're going to have to use a knife to cut into her windpipe.
And you're going to have to be careful not to hit her jugular, which should be a little ways.
She might bleed to death.
Yeah, there's going to be so much blood.
Yes.
Well, only if you hit the jugular.
Make sure you wait until she can't breathe and passes out. That way she's not going to be aware of the fact that you're cutting her throat. God. And we just keep seeing a close-up of this baby, which I don't think is the same actor.
What do you mean?
As the adult?
I think this kid's like 2, 1.5, and it's just this cute little blonde girl staring straight up to him, and his pocket knife is open next to her head the whole time.
So stupid.
You say stupid, and I agree that you probably wouldn't do that, but you might. I found it powerful, man.
I mean, you can't. There's no other way to do it, other than like panning from the baby over to the other hand that's resting on your knee with the knife. So whatever.
This story rocks my world. This movie is full of incredibly powerful moments.
Well, because here's the thing: he basically stops telling the story, and the woman is just enraptured. And as soon as he stops, she blinks and one tear falls. Mm-hmm. And she goes, and what the fuck happened? He goes, well, I got there in time and I didn't have to cut her, but I was going to. And it's a powerful thing. He also says, look, your love eventually just turns into hate.
No.
I fucking hate her.
It's not hate. That's
I just want to smash her. And and they get off the plane and she's like, all right, well, I'll catch you later. And he goes, all right, Allie. And she goes, it's Allison. She's a woman now.
Yeah.
And he goes, yeah, all right.
And then he locks eyes with the woman.
He gets he's about to get into his limo. Uh-huh. And then he sees the bus driver, who is now a shuttle driver. And it takes her a moment, but she catches a whiff of him and looks.
He stank that bad?
Yeah. And he looks at her. She looks at him. And he looks at her. Uh-huh. And she's looking at him.
And they come together and start kissing sloppy.
She gives him a nice smile and a nod.
Yeah.
And goes about her business. And he goes, yeah, I did that. And then he gets into his car and it gets into a horrible accident and the movie ends.
He sinks through the ice?
Uh-huh. He ascends to hell.
Oh, he got dragged to hell? Because of the Roma?
Ian?
I love this movie. I didn't know. I have seen this movie before. Like, I saw Exotica. Just an indie movie that I felt like I was supposed to see when it came out on video. Mm-hmm. Did nothing for me as a kid. Thought it was boring. Same as Exotica. This movie is so fucking powerful. I was riveted. I was so sad when that bus went off the road and his kids died. God damn it. And then the story about his daughter and the knife. This is a really special movie. I'm really impressed.
It's
9.
I really think everybody in here is fantastic. I don't think anybody's not been good in any of the Adam McGowan movies I've seen. But Ian Holm, this is like an Ian Holm I've not seen before. And I think he's great.
He's so good.
Bruce Greenwood's just fantastic. Everybody's really, really good in here.
That molester dad I find really good.
And I think that's the one element to me that's just sort of almost like one too many.
Really?
Turns, but the payoff at the end, I think, makes it better. I'm not too wild about the story. Not to say it's bad or anything. It just sort of was like, it just was there almost as like a reason for everybody to just do some really incredible acting.
God, I mean, Sarah Pauli's reading that Pied Piper story in the beginning.
Yeah.
And the bus driver's talking about plucking all those kids like fruit.
Yeah.
And all the children. It's like they're taken away and killed. It's so sad.
It's very sad.
I feel like it's very powerful.
It's it's good shit. Everybody in here is super solid. I think this is a movie that greatly benefits from being shot on film. Film just makes it look so good.
It looks so good. All that snow.
I was watching Dark
scenery.
Winds, and I just kept thinking to myself, God, if this was on film, the show would be right there. Here, though, man, it just feels smoky and humid.
I feel like
even
you
though
feel
it's cold.
The cold of the snow.
Yeah, it's fucking intense, man. Solid film, solid acting, pretty decent soundtrack. I know you didn't like it.
No, but I give 9s all day long to this movie.
You gave the movie a 9.
And honestly, I'd fucking throw out 9s to everybody who's acting pretty much too, man.
I think I give the movie an 8.
Okay.
But yeah, I would go pretty high on the numerical chart for pretty much every performance in here.
Adam McGowan should be celebrated as a king, I feel like.
Yeah. He should be the Canadian Prime Minister. So there it is. Jason pick that I liked.
Yeah. I'm glad you did.
I knew it was going to have to happen at some point.
Hey, did you like my pick?
I loved it, Jason, and I think you did a really good job.
I was talking to them.
They don't care.
They don't. You can find us on Reddit, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Discord, Threads. We do them filmographies. You can find us on, I guess, Twitter, do filmographies. We don't do anything there. I just post the picture when we rotate.
Yeah.
You can email us at wedoemfilmographies@gmail.com. Julian, text me. Leave me a voicemail. Want my number?
It's 763-634-1897. And you know what you could do as well, to in addition to everything that you just told them to do?
Yeah.
Go on Apple Podcast and rate this podcast.
Oh, we didn't tell them to do that last time.
We didn't.
Oh.
And if you do that, you can suggest a movie.
You can.
Any movie that we can, as long as we can get our hands on it.
Can it be Greenland? Jules really wants me to see Greenland.
It could be the fucking Zapruder film, for all I care.
Just do it. Rate us, review us, subscribe us.
Yeah.
I have to pee really bad. I think next up is horror movies. I think when Don McKellar raps, it's time for spookies.
Oh, yeah.
So
Spookies 2024.
Hold on to your pee-pee. It's
God.
either Hellraiser or Late Night with the Devil next.
It's our third round of these fucking things. We made it.
We've been doing it a long time.
He's been Jason.
I've been Jules.
Good night.